Hey, this is Brian Therrien from the Disability Digest. This video is my July recap of the events that happened in July. Some of the trends that I see that are going to be happening throughout the rest of 2022 and how they will impact your Social Security disability benefits. I'm going to cover the good news and I'm going to cover the bad news. So regardless if you're still working, thinking about applying, or you're in the disability approval process, or maybe you're already approved, this information will be of value to help you get your benefits, keep your benefits, and maximize your disability benefits. So if you're new here, welcome. We hope you enjoy the show. If you do, we encourage you to subscribe and ring the bell so you get upcoming notifications from us here at the Disability Digest. So thinking about what to cover first, I was looking at it, in my house when I grew up, there were 5 kids and we were served pretty much just whatever we were served, we were expected to eat. So I came up with this strategy, which I still use, find it rather effective, of eating the worst things first. So for example, if I had broccoli on my plate, I'd definitely knock that out. So I'm going to cover the bad news first, kind of my broccoli moment and what's going on in the disability world. And then I'll get on to the good news that I see. I've also included in this some information about what I see that disability applicants and recipients are looking for, what they would like to see in changes. And of course, I'd like to hear from you on that and some things you can do to take action on these items. All right, so here we go. So the bad news is the continuing disability reviews are still increasing. I'm going to talk about the budget more in a moment from Joe Biden, but the numbers that I've covered are holding true that about 50,000 people within the next 12 months will be losing their Social Security disability benefits because of a continuing disability review. And oftentimes these are preventable, and we go over information on this channel, what you can do to prepare for, what you can do when you get your review. So stay tuned for that information, or look for it or request it if you're a member here, which we'll talk more about later. So that's not really that good news. That's in the bad news category. The second piece is disability approvals, backlogs. General communication with Social Security is a mess. Right now in the disability application process is around 1 million cases in backlog. It's the highest amount that they've had. So that creates problems for anybody dealing with Social Security, because a lot of the resources are tied up in doing that. And then they're committed to doing these Social Security disability reviews and removing people from benefits. So other items are tough. If you've been on the phone with them lately, I trust you can understand that it is a real challenge in dealing with them. So I don't see much of that changing. I would suggest that you follow the advice that we provide for best practices for interacting with Social Security and how you can get your benefits or your objective accomplished with the least amount of stress and the least amount of time. So for those of you in the approval process, a few things. The backlog of cases is still a major log jam at the initial application. When you first apply, it's typically 5 months for a decision. We see people at 11 months. We have people that we see that are around 24 months that have still not received their initial decision. I expect that is going to improve. They've hired new people, they're training them, they're making an effort to do that. But if you're going and starting the application process, just yesterday, somebody was estimated in Arizona, or maybe it was New Mexico, at 269 days. That's like 9 months for their initial decision. So you just need to be aware of what the expectations are for a decision. If you're not approved there, then you're going to have the reconsideration phase, which could be just the same amount of time, depending on what state you're in. And if it's not approved there, then it'll go for a hearing in front of a judge. Now, a few things about a hearing. The hearings have been done via telephone, which is actually, in my opinion, and others that I've spoken to, have worked great. If you have good medical evidence, then there's no need to really see you. And if you do go for an in-person hearing, the feedback that I've seen is it's like visiting somebody in jail. If you've ever done that, the judge is like in this barriered room with a glass panel. You might even be in another room, so it could be like a video conference. So, but those are opening up. So the trend that we're seeing here is that all of these cases are at initial, been backlog, reconsideration backlog, and they're starting to let loose and head towards a hearing. And believe it or not, there's not enough judges. So word is from the resources that I've followed, like Charles Hall's blog and others, is that they've hired and they're looking for around 1,000 Social Security disability judges. So might not mean anything to you, but if there's a new judge in the system, that judge typically came from a Social Security disability practice, meaning they were an attorney that likely was already representing cases to help people get their benefits approved. And they would have jumped ship because in a lot of ways, this would be a better situation for them. Guaranteed income, sit behind a desk. They don't have to deal with all the challenges of trying to get a case approved and getting paid from Social Security. So it's attractive for a lot of people. And as a result, as when they put up the opening, judges like swarmed, or potential judges swarmed to take advantage of it. So what does that mean? It means a lot of people that did this work that were likely very good at it are going to be leaving this space. So that will change it for those of you that are not represented and may need representation at some point in time. Most folks that did this work on a smaller practice did the custom work that's necessary to make a difference for your case. So I see that changing. There's large, well-advertised firms that are out there. They may do a good job, but typically they don't do the custom work. And we can help you understand here at the Disability Digest what the custom work is that needs to be done for, like, reviewing your medical records, writing a brief, evidence that you need, forms that need to be filled out and reviewed by them, all of that stuff. So be aware of that. One other thing is I'm in a networking group with others, and it's becoming increasingly difficult for those that are under 50 to get their disability benefits approved. And the reason for that is that you have to prove that you cannot do any job. And there's more details to it. So my message is, don't be discouraged, don't run away. If you're not able to work, you just are not able to work, and that's what the benefits are for. My point is you just really need to do it right. You need to check all the boxes. If you're doing it on your own, of course, we encourage you to use our disability approval course. It doesn't cost anything, and it can give you all of the steps right there, what you need to do. But you do need to do everything top shelf and on your own. Okay, a few things about the budget, and I'm going to put the link below this. I've covered the budget several different times, and the budget will influence your income and getting your benefits, keeping your benefits, etc. And there's a few things that I encourage you to look at on the budget when you look at page 18 on the budget, where the money has been spent and where the increase is. Now, overall, the budget is about $800 million less than they were shooting for. So, and it's not enough to keep up with inflation. So I don't see that there's going to be a major change in the hold time, the wait time, dealing with Social Security based on what people believe the money is needed to make this whole thing work. But we have to play the hand we're dealt. But awareness will definitely help you out. And on page 18 of the proposed budget, very similar to what's gone on with other versions of this, they have increased funding for the Inspector General, which does surveillance on people. And I'm starting to see feedback of people that have surveillance being done on them. And it's usually triggered by some activity that they should not have done. Continuing disability reviews, the increased funding there, as I mentioned at the top of this, the number of people that we expect based on the statistics will be losing their benefits as a result of the CDR. So check out page 18. If you can do anything to shore up your finances, I mean, we're looking at like inflation is like 9%ish. And then there will be a cost of living increase, but it just typically usually levels that out. And the cost of living increase, there's all kinds of different reports in the media. It could be anywhere from 7% to 11%. But even if it is 11% and inflation's at 9%, it's still like, it's still not a huge difference, right? So anything you can do to shore up your finances, I know for myself, like our grocery bills, our electricity has increased, and I'm fortunate that, you know, I have this opportunity to serve you, and we make a profit doing it. So you know, we can pay for it, but many people can't. So there's a lot of work that we've done here to help people understand, like in our Wednesday live events, that if you haven't attended, I'd encourage you to do so, like what you can do, how much you can make, different interviews with individuals that are supplementing their income, keeping their benefits, and have no worries. So if that's of concern and of interest to you, then, you know, have a look for that. There's other ways in which you can save. Maybe your family's got dental costs or medication costs. These are all efforts that we work hard at to help make a difference. So good news is, yeah, starting the good news phase of this, there may be a cost of living increase that will level things out. And the next bit of good news is that I do expect that the Medicare plans that will be released in October, historically, they are better every year. And when I say better every year, one example is there's Part B buybacks in states like Florida, Texas, California. You know, those used to be like $75 a month. There's some at $125, $145. $145 a month. We're working with an individual right now who is simply going to go from one plan in the same company to another, have the same doctor's network, and save that Medicare Part B premium. Instead of $170.10, will be reduced by $145 a month. One simple change. So coming up here at the Disability Digest, as we get closer to all those plans being released, we'll be doing some work to help you understand what you have now, how to review what's coming up, how to compare your options and make a move there. So we'll help you with that. And just one more thing, looping back on the good news, is that, you know, there's a lot of opportunity for people that have a desire to do something and supplement their income. There really is, especially post-COVID with the traditional work at home. There's all of that, even on a part-time basis. There's opportunities for people to do things individually on their own. So I remain optimistic, and that's based on, one, the opportunity, and two, seeing the success stories of others. So stay tuned for that. This is what I see that people are looking for in increased benefits. So I'm going to cover this, and then I'm going to wrap up by some ways in which you could make a difference with this. So in looking at all the comments that we have and the feedback and the email and our YouTube channel and Facebook groups that we have, what people are looking for is they certainly would like more money. It's difficult. The average living on the average check here is $1,350. That's tough on a fixed income. So they'd like to have that increase. That's a long shot though. People are petrified of these continuing disability reviews and the results of them. So they'd like to see those go away ideally, but at least a better process, so they're not so abrupt and your income doesn't stop so quickly. They definitely would like to see that. Income restrictions, you know, if the cost of living is going up and the COLA is flat, then open it up so people can make more money. Raise that $970 a month and push that up to like $1,200 or $1,400, so people, you know, can get in the game and you know, have a chance to make a difference. this is an interesting one. A lot of people have looked at moving outside of the U.S. Mexico, Philippines, cost of living is much less. And if we had better sharing agreements, is what they're called, with these countries that will allow people to do that, then that would really be helpful for people. So they could go live somewhere else. I mean, cost of living, quality of life is great in other places. So that would be helpful. And that Medicare premium was $145 last year. We jumped to $170. I mean, that's a stinger for one drug. So reduce that Medicare Part B premium. So here's the thing. I truly believe that people out there can make a difference. I see a lot of comments that people are discontent. And I really don't know what the numbers are of people that actually take action to make a difference. But, our Constitution has we the people, and we vote these folks in office. We are responsible for what they do. And we have our local government officials, our congressmen, our representatives. They are there for you to give them your influence. And there was only I've reported on this before, there's only been 6,000 congressional inquiries in the last year. So they're not hearing from you. So if people want to make a difference, then pick up the phone, send a letter, do something to make a difference so that this can change. We're sending a lot of money to other areas, and it's probably because it's getting the attention. So if we redirected the attention here, and be careful who you vote for. I'm not suggesting or influencing that you vote for anybody, but vote for somebody that is in line for what's of your best interest. So those are my recaps. Thank you for listening. Here at the Disability Digest, we do these monthly updates on topics, but we have 3, sometimes 4 different little information snippets released a week here on our YouTube channel and other social media. So we encourage you to subscribe, and if you're on YouTube, ring the bell so that you get those. On YouTube, typically Wednesdays at 12:15, we have a live event on a different topic, where you can come in and participate, learn, meet others, get your questions answered. So we encourage you to participate in that. And last is we have a membership. The membership here at the Disability Digest can help you out, because these videos are just general information. I don't know your situation. I don't know your age, where you live, what your conditions are, your Social Security disability check, if you're trying to get approved. So with all this information we have, we really are not able to target your specific needs. But if you join us as a member, or if you update us as a member, like if something's changed or we haven't heard from you in the last 6 months, just simply follow the directions and update us. Then we can get you specific information on what's going to help you get your benefits approved fast. I mean, even if we shave off 2 or 3 months with our disability approval course, that costs you nada. I mean, is that worth it? Or we help you keep your benefits because you have a continuing disability review, or maybe an overpayment, or you want to know what to do if you get those, right? So those are some of the things that we can help you out with here at the Disability Digest. So we hope you enjoyed this video. Look around the video to subscribe, ring the bell, and join us as a member. Thanks. Make it a great day.